You're sitting at work, exhausted, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, believing nobody notices how hard you're trying, and then, out of nowhere, the person you love most in the world walks in and reminds you that everything you've sacrificed has been worth it. That's exactly what happened to Mark, a single dad whose ordinary shift at work turned into one of the most unforgettable moments of his life. Stick around until the end because I promise you, this story will move you, and if it touches your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us of the power of love, family, and resilience. Mark wasn't always a single father. Years ago, he had dreams like everyone else, dreams of traveling, starting his own small business, living a life full of choices. But life, as it often does, had different plans. His wife passed away suddenly when their daughter, Emily, was just 5 years old. In a single night, his whole world collapsed. He was heartbroken, grieving, and yet, he couldn't afford to fall apart. Emily needed him. From that day forward, Mark decided that no matter how hard life became, his daughter would always come first. He gave up on those big dreams and instead picked up extra shifts at the factory, often coming home long after midnight, his hands blistered and his body aching. Every paycheck went toward bills, food, and saving a little bit for Emily's future. He told himself he'd never let her feel like she had less than anyone else. But behind closed doors, Mark struggled. There were nights when he stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, asking himself if he was doing enough. Could he ever fill the gap of both parents? Could he give Emily the life she deserved while carrying the weight of grief and responsibility alone? Emily grew up watching her dad work tirelessly. She saw the exhaustion in his eyes when he thought she wasn't looking. She noticed the way he skipped meals so she could have enough. She heard him whisper prayers at night, asking for the strength to keep going. And even though she was just a child, she made a quiet promise to herself, one day, I'll make Dad smile the way he used to before Mom passed away. One day, I'll show him how much his sacrifices mean to me. Years passed. Emily grew into a thoughtful, bright teenager. Despite not having much, she was rich in gratitude and determination. Every good grade she earned, every little achievement, she would rush to show her dad. And though he was always proud, she could see that part of him still carried sadness and doubt. As Emily's high school graduation approached, she knew she wanted to do something unforgettable for her dad. She didn't have much money, but she had something far more powerful, her love, her effort, and her creativity. She secretly worked extra hours at a local diner after school, saving every dollar she could. She also wrote a heartfelt letter to her dad, explaining everything she had always wanted to tell him but never found the courage to say, the way his sacrifices shaped her, how his love gave her strength, and how she never once felt she was missing out on life because he gave her more than enough. Then, with the help of her school principal and a few kind teachers, she planned a surprise visit to her dad's workplace. She would show up unannounced, wearing her graduation cap and gown, holding that letter, and tell him in front of everyone how much he meant to her. The day finally arrived. Mark was at work, like any other ordinary day. His hands were covered in grease, his back ached, and his mind was already on the bills waiting at home. He had no idea that his daughter was just outside, preparing to walk in. Suddenly, the factory door opened. There she was, Emily, standing tall in her graduation gown, holding flowers in one hand and an envelope in the other. At first, Mark thought he was imagining things. His co-workers paused, whispering, as they noticed the tears already forming in his eyes. Dad, Emily said, her voice trembling but full of emotion, I didn't want you to miss this moment. You've worked so hard for me, and today, I graduate because of you. The room fell silent. Mark's face crumbled as years of exhaustion, sacrifice, and quiet battles came flooding out in tears he could no longer hold back. He dropped his tools, wiped his hands on his apron, and ran to embrace his daughter. In that hug, the whole world seemed to stop. This was not just a father and daughter, it was a story of love, resilience, and triumph over hardship. Emily then handed him the letter. Mark's hand shook as he read her words, each line hitting deeper than the last, You were my mom and dad. You gave me everything. And now, I want to give you this moment, to remind you that you're not just enough, you're everything I needed. That day changed Mark. For years, he had carried silent doubts, always wondering if he was doing right by Emily. And in one powerful moment, his daughter erased every doubt. He realized that love, sacrifice, and presence matter far more than money or luxury ever could. Emily went on to college, determined to build a future that would honor her father's sacrifices. And Mark? He found a renewed sense of purpose. He still worked hard, but now with the confidence that his daughter saw him not as a man who lost his dreams, but as a hero who made hers possible. This story reminds us that love doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes, love looks like tired hands, late nights, and quiet sacrifices nobody sees. But those small acts of love, over time, shape the people we become. So, if you have someone in your life who has sacrificed for you, take a moment to tell them. Don't wait for the perfect time is now. Because sometimes, the most ordinary moments can turn into the ones that change everything. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a like. It helps us share these messages with more people who might need them. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful, true-to-life stories that remind us of what really matters.